everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's case I'm going to be talking to you about is the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. So on February the 14th, 2017, the bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German had been discovered, and this was near the Monon High Bridge Trail, and this was part of a Delphi historic trail in Delphi in Indiana in the US. After the girls had gone and disappeared, this was from the trail the previous day. The murders had received extensive media coverage, in part due to a video and some audio recordings that was released by the law enforcement, and this had come from Liberty German's smartphone, which had recorded an individual that was believed to be their killer. On October the 26th, 2022, a suspect had been then taken into custody, and on October the 31st, that suspect was charged with 2 counts of murder of Abigail and Liberty German. So the Time had then described the arrest as, quote, the first major break in the case that had captivated national attention for nearly 6 years. At 1:35 p.m. on February the 13th, 2017, 13-year-old Abigail Joyce, which is known as Abby Williams, and her 14-year-old Liberty Rosalind Libby German, her best friend, were dropped off by German's older sister called Kelsey German on County Road 300 northeast of the Hoosier Heartland Highway. The girls were hiking on the Monon High Bridge over the Deer Creek at that time, among a lot of woodland in a remote Deer Creek township. And at 2:07 p.m., German posted a photo of Williams that was walking on the bridge. After this, they were not heard from ever again. They were reported missing at 5:30 p.m. after they had gone and failed to meet German's father, and this was at 3:15 p.m. The families initially searched for the girls themselves before calling the police. Authorities who quickly searched the area did not initially suspect foul play in their disappearance. This would then change when the bodies of the girl were found on noon, and this was on the next day, which was about 0.5 miles, which is 0.80 kilometers east of an abandoned Monon High Bridge. The bodies then had been found on the north bank of the Deer Creek. Police have not released any details on how the girls had specifically been murdered, but as early as February the 15th, 2017, the Indiana State Police had then been circulating a still image of an individual that was reportedly seen on the Monon High Bridge Trail that was near the two friends when they had gone slain. The grainy photograph appears to be a capture of a Caucasian male with his hands in his pocket, with his head down, walking on the rail bridge, and this was towards these girls. A few days later, the person in the photograph was named as the prime suspect in the double homicide. On February the 22nd, then, the law enforcement released an audio recording that was during which the voice of the suspect, although it was muffled, is heard saying "down the hill." At this news conference, the officials then credited the source of the audio and the imagery to German's smartphone, and further regarded her as a hero for having had the presence of mind and fortitude to secretly record this type of exchange. Police then indicated that additional evidence from the phone had then been secured, but then it would not have been released, so that it is not to go and compromise any of the future trials that's going on. But by this time, the reward was offered in the case that was set at $41,000. On July the 17th, then, the police had distributed a composite sketch of someone sought as a person of a prime interest at this time in the murders. The sketch was apparently created from eyewitness accounts at this time as well of a hiker on the Delphi historic trail on the day that these girls had gone and vanished. So on April 22nd, then 2019, the Indiana State Police had announced a new direction in the case and released a new sketch of this suspect. So while urging the public to look at this sketch, there was a listening to an audio which how the man walks on the bridge and sent tips to the tip line email as well. The investigators stated that they had reason to actually believe that almost certainly familiar with the Delphi area, this suspect may be hiding in plain sight and that they are living there, working there, or for any other reasons. An additional plea then was made for help in identifying the driver of a vehicle that had been left abandoned off the Hosier Heartland Highway in Delphi. And this was at a former Child Services office between noon and 5 p.m. on the day of these murders. On July the 23rd, 2019, a suspect who had been wanted for kidnapping and a rape in Tippecanoe County was named as one multiple suspects that had been investigated, and this was for Williams and German's murders. But according to Carroll County Sheriff Toby Leesenby, the suspect had died by suicide the previous month, and this was on April 27th, 2021. Indiana State Police detectives then named another suspect as a new person of interest in the Delphi murders. On October the 26th in 2022, a suspect was taken into custody and appeared in court in October the 28th. And on October the 31st, 2022, the Indiana State Police announced that the suspect had been charged with 2 counts of murder, and this was in this specific case. He had then pleaded not guilty. His trial originally scheduled as to start on March 20th, 2023. It had later then been postponed until later in the year at the request of the suspect's defense team. 2 public defenders were appointed to represent the suspect. On November the 29th, 2022, the Judge Francis Gull issued an order to unseal the probable cause affidavit that led to the suspect's arrest. According to the redacted document, the video footage recovered from German's phone had shown one of the victims mentioning, quote, gun, as a man wearing a dark jacket and jeans approached them and ordered them to go down the hill. Investigators believe that the suspect is the man that had been seen in this video, and the investigators also found a .40 caliber unspent round. This was less than 2 feet from one of the victims' bodies. It was then later determined that the round that came from the gun that was owned by the suspect. A witness said that she saw a man walking away from the bridge, and he had been wearing a blue type coloured jacket, blue jeans, and was very muddy in colour as well, and also a bit bloody. Another witness and a tip mentioned that a car was parked very oddly and appeared to be parked in a way as if it was to hide its license plate. Investigators said that the description of the vehicle matched a vehicle that the suspect had owned in 2017. According then to the probable cause of affidavit, the suspect was interviewed by the police then in 2017 and was said that he was on the trail that afternoon for around 2 hours. The document also said that in subsequent interview in October 2022, the suspect told authorities that he had worn jeans and a black or blue jacket that day and had gone to the bridge to watch some fish. On December the 2nd, 2022, Judge Gull issued a gag order until January 2023. The suspect's defense attorneys argued in a motion to go and move the trial out of Carroll County based on some concerns about jury bias due to what the attorneys described as the quote extensive media attention and the highly publicized nature of this case. And this was in that local area. In response to a request from German's mother, some homeowners that was across central Indiana had orange lights installed on their front porches, both to try and commemorate the girls as well as to indicate that the murderer remains at large. In August 2017, the families announced their plans to try and build a sports complex for Delphi in memory of the girls. A non-profit organization, the L&A Park Foundation, was formed to quote celebrate and commemorate the lives of Libby German and Abby Williams by creating a place for the appreciation of nature, art, play, athletics for generations that is to come. A site was procured a mile north of Delphi, and in the years following the girls' deaths, it had continued to progress that has been made in the development of Abby and Libby Memorial Park. And in 2020, the L&A Park Foundation was named a recipient of the NBA All-Star 2021 Legacy Grant. Okay then, everyone. So what I have done is I've done some tarot cards to see what happened, but this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. So the first thing I said is what happened to Abigail Williams and Liberty German. And the first thing that came out was 10 of Wands. So there had been some stress, restrictions, and a struggle. Reverse 10 of Pentacles. There was an unexpected change and a loss. Reverse 2 of Cups. There was an encounter that caused a lot of disharmony and being unhappy. Justice. So there was justice. There had been a life lesson, truth, honesty, and consequences. 9 of Wands. There was resilience, being drained, and tried gathering their strength. Reverse Tower. There had been some resistance and tried to avoid a loss and a tragedy. Reverse Chariot. There had been some forcefulness, lack of self-control, aggression and coercion. Reverse 8 of Pentacles. So things have been kept being repeated over and over and over. 10 of Swords. There was a betrayal, possible stabbing into the back, exhausted and couldn't cope. 6 of Swords. There had been some type of escapism, tried to run away, possibly on water or near water. Reverse Emperor. There was an older male who abused his power, who was a father figure that was very much out of control, that could have had some problems within their children or in their parentage. 4 of Swords. There was a lot of fears and tried resting. Hierophant. There was some form of a religion or a group of some kind. Reverse King of Wands. There was a male who was rude, forceful, bully, abusive and impulsive. Reverse 2 of Wands. So there was fear of change and being restricted. Reverse 2 of Swords. There had been some truth and lies being exposed. Who was involved in the murders? Reverse 3 of Swords. There had been pain and being released, trying to seek forgiveness. Reverse Knight of Wands. There was an arrogant, reckless, overly confident person. Okay, so I've done a mediumship on this case, and some things that came out is, quote, there was watchers, something to do with old train tracks, mentions about shell casings. We had someone saying about a senior and then the name of David. So this is everything I seen during my mediumship and my meditation. So first thing is I saw Liberty being forced to lie on the ground with her hands that was being put behind her back. and that was being tied up. And this was to do with a male that had a hat on that was age range from 40 onwards. So he was tying up her hands. So then there was a name of Sean for residents here. There was a lot of trees, dead grass. Abby was shouting at the man, and I heard, "Get off my sister." So I felt like they both classed each other as sisters at this point because this is how close they were. And then we had the name of Cameron. So then we had Liberty then was made to stand up against a tree. There was a fight with Abby and the male. Then there was the sound of a gun being shot. And then it was a male shouting, "Get down on the floor." Liberty was crying. Abby then tried braving it all out. They was both very strong-willed. There had been twigs that had been shaped into crosses. There's mentions to do with Christianity. There was 2 people. Someone then had a angina attack. So one of the perpetrators after this may have had an angina attack, or they had an angina attack beforehand. So this is very relevant. This mentions about supposedly was bitten. So someone was supposedly bitten. There had been some drag marks. And then it was mentions about X marks the spot. Then there was something to do with a rotary iron. I'm not sure what that is, but Spirit was mentioning something to do with a rotary iron. And then there was mentions of being killed and stabbed, and something had been dubbed. So I did a ghost tube seer session, and the first image that came out was of a man that is bowing down. So it's a man bowing down that has something behind him, not too sure what it is. I don't know if he's down and praying. The next image is of some archway, so it does look like a bridge. So it could be showing a bridge here that's very, very significant. Then there is an image of a man with a hat that is next to a lot of symbols. So there's a man, and then a lot of symbols for relevance. And then this one is a bit disturbing. So this looks like someone that is naked from the top up, that is covered in blood. It looks like they've had their mouth cut. So maybe this is what happened to them. This looked like a blood moon, because there is a candle that is a red candle that had been lit. It do look like a shape of a moon with little bits of things on it, but this could be just some type of material that has a lot of blood on it. But there is a red candle that is lit there. Then it is an image of some type of place where there is a lot of benches. So this could be in a court place or in a church or something along them lines that's very, very significant. Then this, to me, it looks like it's trying to image 2 people here. This may be like a knife, stabbing someone. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. But it feels like it is trying to map out 2 type of people. Then there's another image then of like a doorway with some type of either a phone or a typewriter of some kind. Then this one is a long cream or white sofa with like a big massive water image in the back with something swimming in the back that is very, very relevant here. And that is everything that came through on the Ghost Tube app. So I'm going to be doing the Necrophonic app to see what comes through. Okay, angels, guides, spirit guides, archangels, the divine and the divine white light, please come forward and help ground and protect me during this investigation session. So I would like to ask if it's possible if you can bring forward communication regarding this case. Okay, so this is a case of Abigail Williams and Liberty German that was discovered on the Monon High Bridge Trail, part of the Delphi Historic Trail in Delphi in Indiana in the United States. What happened to Abigail Williams and Liberty German? Who was the man that was on the bridge in the image that Liberty German or Abigail Williams had took a photo of? Is the man that was seen on the bridge the one who said down the hill to the girls? How many people was involved in the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German? Was the girls' murders a ritualistic murder? Was there a cult that had involvements? Can you tell us any more information, like the reasons why they chose Abigail Williams and Liberty German? Was it planned or was it just a random act? Were the people who murdered Abigail Williams and Liberty German like stalking them beforehand? Or is it just they seen them there and they just decided to take that opportunity? Was the man that died, I think, was of suicide, one of the main killers involved, or was he innocent? Have they got the right suspect in jail now for the murders? Is Richard the actual murderer? Was it anyone who acted with Richard, or was it someone else? What important information can you tell Abigail Williams and Liberty German's family about what happened to them? Like who was involved, how many of them was there, and was the reasons for them to take these two innocent young girls? What last information do you want to say regarding what happened to Abigail Williams and Liberty German? The truth. Was this something to do with Odin? If Abigail Williams and Liberty German can hear this, what would you like to tell your family about what happened to you? Thank you for your information. Goodbye. Okay then, so that is the case of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. If there's anything you could hear during that session, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. There is two things that I thought I heard was mentioned. One was Richard, and two, that it was planned. When I asked them like if it was planned or if it was like a random type of thing, I thought I did hear that it said planned, but I will check when I do the editing anyway. So yeah, just please comment in the comment section below what you heard. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, everyone, take care. Bye bye.